The models C712 and 713 soft-serve machines have been engineered and manufactured for dependable operation. This unit, when properly operated and cared for, will consistently produce a quality product. Like all machines, however, it requires cleaning and maintenance. Read the operator's manual before operating or performing any maintenance. The initial assembly and priming procedures are of extreme importance. When the power switch is placed in the on position, the control panel keys become operative. A fluorescent display will be either blank or indicate that the unit has been cleaned. The brush clean counter will display the number of hours since the freezer was last brush cleaned. In the menu program, the arrow symbols and the select symbol function as menu keys. The up arrow increases the value above the cursor and scrolls upward in text displays. The down arrow decreases the value above the cursor and scrolls downward in text displays. Select advances the cursor position to the right and is used to select menu options. With the access code screen on the display, use the Select button to set the first code number in the cursor position. Press the Select button to move the cursor to the next number position. Continue to enter the proper access code numbers, 8309, until all 4 numbers are displayed. Then press the Select button. If the correct access code was entered, the menu list will display on the screen. Touch the arrow symbols to move up or down through the menu. Select a menu option by pressing the Select button. Exit the menu program by selecting Exit from Menu or touch the cone symbol. Selecting Exit from Menu will exit the menu and return the control panel symbols to normal operation. When you enter the store in the morning and find the parts of the machine disassembled and laid out to air dry from the previous night's cleaning, you will need to assemble the parts into the freezer, sanitize them, and prime the freezer with fresh mix in preparation to serve your first portion of the day. To assemble the machine, first make sure the power is off. Next, lubricate the groove on the beater drive shaft and then slide the boot seal over the small end of the shaft into the groove. Lubricate the inside portion of the boot seal and the flat end of the seal that comes in contact with the rear shell bearing. Apply an even coat of lubricant to the shaft. Do not lubricate the hex end. Insert the beater drive shaft through the rear shell bearing in the freezing cylinder and engage the hex end firmly into the drive coupling. Before installing the beater assembly, check the scraper blades for any nicks or signs of wear. If the blades are in good condition, install the scraper blade clips over the scraper blades. Place the rear scraper blade over the rear holding pin on the beater. Holding the rear blade on the beater, slide it into the freezing cylinder halfway. Install the front scraper blade over the front holding pin. Install the beater shoes. Slide the beater assembly the rest of the way into the freezing cylinder. Make sure the beater assembly is in position over the drive shaft by turning the beater slightly until the beater is properly seated. When in position, the beater will not protrude beyond the front of the freezing cylinder. Repeat these steps for the other side. To assemble the freezer door, place the door gaskets into the grooves on the back of the door. Slide the front bearings over the baffle rods. The flanged edges should be against the door. Do not lubricate the gaskets or front bearings. Slide the 2 O-rings into the grooves on each prime plug and apply an even coat of lubricant to the O-rings and shafts. Insert the prime plugs into the holes in the top of the freezer door and push down. To install the freezer door, insert the baffle rods through the beaters in the freezing cylinders. With the door seated on the freezer studs, install the hand screws using the long screws on the top and the short screws on the bottom. Tighten them equally in a crisscross pattern to ensure the door is snug. Slide the 3 O-rings into the grooves of each standard draw valve. Slide the H-ring and the O-ring into the grooves of the center draw valve. Lubricate the H-ring and the O-rings. Lubricate the top and bottom of the inside of the freezer door spouts. Insert the draw valves from the bottom until the slot in each draw valve comes into view. Position each draw handle with the adjustment screw facing down. Slide the fork of each draw handle into the slot of each draw valve, starting from the right. Slide the pivot pin through the draw handles as you insert them into the draw valves. To increase the flow rate, turn the adjustment screw clockwise. Turn the adjustment screw counterclockwise to decrease the flow. Snap the design caps over the bottom of the door spouts. Slide the 2 rear drip trays into the holes in the back panel. Slide the 2 drip pans into the holes in the side panels. Install the front drip tray and splash shield under the door spouts. Assemble the mix pump. Begin by sliding the red O-ring into the groove of the piston. Apply a thin layer of lubricant to the inside of the pump cylinder at the retaining pinhole end. Insert the piston into the end of the pump cylinder. Assemble the valve cap. Begin by sliding the O-ring into the groove of the valve cap. Slide the pump valve gasket into the holes on the cap. Insert the valve body cap into the hole in the mix inlet adapter. Insert the mix inlet assembly into the pump cylinder. The adapter must be positioned into the notch located at the end of the pump cylinder. Secure the pump parts in position by sliding the retaining pin through the cross holes located at one end of the pump cylinder. The head of the retaining pin should be located at the top of the pump. Assemble the feed tube assembly. Slide the check ring into the groove of the feed tube. Install 1 red O-ring on each end of the mix feed tube. Lubricate the O-rings thoroughly. Lay the pump assembly, the pump clip, and the mix feed tube in the bottom of the mix hopper for sanitizing. Slide the large black O-ring and the 2 smaller black O-rings into the grooves on the drive shaft. Thoroughly lubricate the O-rings and shaft. Do not lubricate the hex end of the shaft. Install the hex end of the drive shaft into the drive hub at the rear wall of the mix hopper. Repeat these steps for the other side of the machine. To sanitize, prepare 2 gallons of an approved sanitizing solution and warm water. Pour the sanitizing solution over all the parts in the bottom of the mix hopper and allow it to flow into the freezing cylinder. Make sure your hands are clean, and then, while the solution is flowing into the freezing cylinder, brush clean the mix level sensing probe, the mix hopper, the mix inlet hole, the air mix pump, the pump clip, the mix feed tube, and the cotter pin. Install the pump assembly at the rear of the mix hopper. To position the pump on the drive hub, align the drive hole in the piston with the drive crank of the drive shaft. Secure the pump in place by slipping the pump clip over the collar of the pump into the grooves in the collar. Install the pump end of the mix feed tube and secure with the cotter pin. Prepare another 2 gallons of an approved sanitizing solution and warm water. Pour the sanitizing solution into the mix hopper and brush the exposed sides of the hopper. Place the power switch in the on position. Touch the wash button on each side. This will cause the sanitizing solution in the freezing cylinder to be agitated. Allow the solution to agitate for at least 5 minutes. With an empty pail beneath the door spouts, raise the prime plug and press the pump button. When a steady stream of sanitizing solution flows from the prime plug opening in the bottom of the freezer door, open the draw valve. Once the sanitizer stops flowing from the door spout, press the wash and pump buttons. The draw valve will close automatically. Repeat these steps for the other side of the machine. To begin priming the machine, place an empty mix pail beneath the door spouts. With the prime plug in the up position, pour 2 1/2 gallons of fresh mix into the mix hopper and allow it to flow into the freezing cylinder. Open the draw valve to remove all sanitizing solution. When only fresh mix is flowing, close the draw valve. Push the prime plug down. When mix stops bubbling down into the freezing cylinder, remove the cotter pin from the outlet fitting of the mix pump. Insert the outlet end of the mix feed tube into the mix inlet hole in the mix hopper. Place the inlet end into the outlet fitting of the mix pump. Secure it with the cotter pin. Press the auto button. Fill the hopper with fresh mix and place the hopper cover in position. Repeat these steps for the other side of the machine. To disassemble the model C712 or C713, you will need the following items: 2 cleaning and sanitizing pails, sanitizer, the brushes provided with the freezer, and single service towels. With a pail beneath the door spouts, open the draw valve and press the wash and pump buttons. Drain the product from the freezing cylinder and the hopper. When the flow of the product stops, press the wash and pump buttons, canceling the wash and pump modes. Close the draw valve. Remove the cotter pin, mix feed tube, pump clip, and the assembled air mix pump. Repeat these steps for the other side of the machine. To rinse the machine, pour 2 gallons of cool, clean water into the mix hopper. With the white hopper brush, scrub the mix hopper and the mix level sensing probe. Use the medium-sized white brush to clean the mix inlet hole. With a pail beneath the door spouts, raise the prime plug and press the wash button. When a steady stream of rinse water is flowing from the prime plug opening in the bottom of the freezer door, open the draw valve. Drain all the rinse water from the door spout. Close the draw valve and push the prime plug down. Press the wash button, canceling the wash mode. Repeat this procedure using clean, warm water until the water being discharged runs clear. Repeat these steps for the other side of the machine. To clean the hopper, mix 2 gallons of warm water with an approved cleaning solution. With the prime plug pushed down, pour the solution into the hopper. Allow the solution to flow into the freezing cylinder. Using the white hopper brush, clean the mix hopper and the mix level sensing probes. Using the double-ended brush, clean the mix inlet hole. Press the wash button. This will cause the cleaning solution in the freezing cylinder to come in contact with all areas of the freezing cylinder. Wait at least 5 minutes before proceeding with these instructions. Raise the prime plug. Open the draw valve. Draw off all the solution. Once the cleaning solution stops flowing from the door spout, close the draw valve and the prime plug. Press the wash button, canceling the wash mode. Repeat these steps on the other side of the machine. To disassemble the machine, first make sure the power switch is off. Remove the hand screws, freezer door, beater and scraper blades, and drive shaft with drive shaft seal from the freezing cylinder. Remove the drive shaft seal from each drive shaft. From each pump cylinder, remove the retaining pin, mix inlet adapter, valve cap, pump gasket, and the piston. Remove the O-ring from the piston and valve cap. Remove the freezer door gaskets, the front bearings, the pivot pin, the draw handles, the draw valves, the prime plugs, and the design caps. Remove the O-rings from the draw valves. Remove the pump drive shafts from the drive hubs in the rear wall of the mix hoppers. Remove the front drip tray and the splash shield. Remove all the drip pans and take them to the sink for cleaning. Thoroughly brush clean all disassembled parts in cleaning solution, making sure all the lubricant and mix film is removed. Be sure to brush all surfaces and holes, especially the holes in the pump components and the draw valve holes in the freezer door. Rinse all parts with clean, warm water. Place the parts on a clean, dry surface to air dry overnight. Return to the freezer with a small amount of cleaning solution and use the black brush to clean the rear shell bearing at the back of each freezing cylinder and the drive hub opening in the rear wall of each mix hopper. Wipe all exterior surfaces of the freezer with a clean, sanitized towel. Following the procedures presented in this video will result in many hours of trouble-free operation of your C712 and C713 soft serve machine and will significantly contribute to a long and useful operational life.